Jim with Dr. Jan from Ox Security. This is second day the James. Hey bro, how are you?
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Before we start and actually dive in and anything that's Ox Security, I will know a little bit about your journey. How did you start and how did you ended up in this rabbit hole we made?
Yeah, I always tell people that I have a PhD in complaining. So I'm kind of a hater. And it started in 2012 when I entered the crypto space. So very early. And then I think I was attracted by like this pitch of like the world computer or having like one virtual machine that runs basically independent of like the individual hardware parts, right? Have a system that is basically not censorable and could tell truth in a way. And obviously that was a bit of a too much of a vision. And then came this blockchain and I would say the ICO era. And during the ICO era, I think the Ethereum Foundation, they rethemed their website into a Wild Wild West theme kind of thing. And for me, that was too much. So at that time I left. I became a regulator. I worked for the European Central Bank, partly regulating crypto businesses. But my technical background is I'm a econometrician. So I write econometric software basically, and I evaluate data sets. That's what I was trained in. And that's very similar to basically DeFi protocols that calculate something and then return some value, and just the return value is actual money. And in that way, I always could leverage my skeptical skills. As a regulator, you have to be prudent, and as a cybersecurity guy in crypto, you also have to be prudent. You have to tell people that what they are building is maybe broken here and there and has problems. And I think very early that wasn't appreciated, and this is why I had to leave. And then I came back, and actually, the things that I brought to the table were suddenly valuable.
Yeah, it's very interesting that he basically shifted from crypto to real world, and actually tech to non-tech. Was it hard to jump in again into all the technical stuff?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, definitely, because also I was I was always auditing basically tokenomics and theoretical stuff and notation, but the way I wrote code as an academic person, I was kind of writing zombie code, right? That means you just need that the thing works, and only you need to understand it. And then when you're confronted with crypto and things that live in production, which I also
If you want the code to be open source, you need other people to
understand it exactly. And I think that was the most challenging part, getting I don't know, the social layer, or the design patterns right, these things, right? Not just coming up with things that you want and writing them down like, it's only for yourself. That was, for me, that was challenging.
How would you describe Ox Security, like in one sentence, two sentences from it?
So I think what Oak Security is kind of the one-stop shop for cybersecurity in Web3. We exist since 2017 under the brand Solidified, have done over 600 audits, and I think like one thing that's really special about us is that we focus so much on redundancy. We always staff multiple people at the same time that don't know, that are not supposed to show their findings to each other. So they're all required to cover the full code base at the same time. but they are all qualified experts and specific to the job that we give them. And that's what makes us unique in the industry. And with this process, we've managed to get to a state where none of our code has been exploited so far.
Are you multi-chain or only Cosmos based?
No, we do more or less everything. We are specialized on, I would say, EVM, Cosmos, Polkadot, Solana, and now also Move-based stuff.
Sui, Aptos.
Yeah, exactly. Like those things. But we also look at very custom things. For example, we do ZK as well. And we even look at consensus protocols or virtual machine that are entirely custom made. And I think like one of our edges is bridges and middleware and all the plumbing of, for example, putting EVM and Cosmos stuff together. That's where we excel.
Do you have any issues attracting clients in times like this when the market is not really doing good? I mean, you have BTC trading at 100K, but the rest is kind of doing shit.
Interesting. Now, we are, and I think that's the great thing about the cybersecurity industry. The cybersecurity industry is relatively independent of market movements, right? So you can imagine it like this, only if not only because there's a recession, the bank does not dismantle the safe, right? The bank needs the safe all the time. I mean, the actual vault to store the money. And we deliver security. That also means if there's a crazy bull run, it's not that suddenly our business explodes or something, right? We grow, but it's really hard to speed up building things, and it's also really hard to not do cybersecurity when you are a DeFi project. So I think that's really why we are relatively independent of market movements.
Are you also working with non-crypto projects or only crypto?
No, we do also a bunch of non-crypto infrastructure. And what we now do as well is operational security. We've recently onboarded DYDX into our operational security program, and yeah, that's really awesome.
Any plans? I mean, what you're looking into the next 2 to 3 years?
I think what's really interesting is how much the space is shifting towards more intent-based systems and privacy-first architectures, and that's something what we are very enthusiastic about.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how exactly the whole ZK narrative is actually going to play, because from an economic point of view, it didn't. So I want to see, technical point of view, if actually is going to be adopted.
I think it's gonna be one of the biggest factors for corporate adoption, to be honest. So, for example, if I write you an invoice on chain, I would never do that with my current company with the same wallet address where somebody else has already put money into, right? And therefore, not having privacy is really a big blocker for a lot of bigger institutions.
Yeah, but the issue also is that people associate privacy with creamy.
Yeah, but you can solve that. I mean, your bank account is private. I cannot look into your bank account. And we just have to make sure that there is a way to make it compliant and not criminal. But there's nothing criminal about you having a bank account that I cannot look into, right?
Yeah. Do you have any kind of advice for the people out there that want to start their journey into crypto?
I think, start with small steps. Never put your entire savings in it. Play around with it. Maybe you start with something for fun first. Maybe you tap into crypto gaming, or you tap into NFT collections. Maybe if you want, you can also start doing DeFi, but you have to be sure that you want to risk your actual money, right? I think thinking about this and making sure that you understand the security side of things, like not put a, I don't know, like don't give away your secret phrase or something.
Yeah, don't put your mnemonic in Google Cloud.
Yeah, exactly. All these things. Yeah, right.
Dr. Jan, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.